Are we on? Do you have an idea if we're on yet? Because I just transitioned to the new scene and I'm not super sure. But yeah,
I don't think so.
for real, I just transitioned to the.
Or maybe.
Or maybe in the next few, maybe it's just the lag. Oh yeah, we are. Like I can see myself now. Yeah, I'm sure we've lost a lot of viewers on the way, but hi guys, welcome to this stream. I'm so sorry for the wait. I spent the last 1 hour trying to fix OBS. OBS has been okay, so I just like got this new setup, like this new computer, and like setting up OBS from scratch and deleting all my previous templates. So it's like been a pain. And Ben has been kind enough to like sit through all that with me. So like, thank you, Ben, for that. Please, can you like,
Of course,
yeah, like
anytime.
if you can hear me on the stream, just please comment that you can hear me, and we can start the stream. We can start the stream soon. Like we can start the stream now. Just comment that you can hear me. Comment that my audio is good and like Ben's audio is good. Ben, can you?
Let us know, people in the
Yes,
chat.
please. Let us.
We need
Yeah.
reassurance.
We definitely need reassurance because OBS has been like crazy all day. Hopefully it's working well. Hopefully it's working well enough. I can already see you
Hmm.
guys in the chat. I can see you, Shiki. I can see you, Peter. I can see you, Eunice. Thank you for coming. I know we had like more viewers earlier and they all just left because it was just a long wait time. But yeah, super excited to be here. Um, I'm not super. I'm just going to check for myself to see if it's working. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they can hear
Oh
us.
yeah. Yeah, we're
We're good.
good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the reassurance. So, hi guys. My name is Olamide, aka ROJ the GOAT. I'm your nerdy alien host on this weird stream, The Curious Art of Showreels. This channel initially started as a way to help designers in Nigeria transition to motion design, but it's becoming more than just that. Like I've had the opportunity to chat with people all around the world, like literally all around the world about this thing called motion design. And like this stream was supported by my friends at Ashakotari. It was produced by my friend Caleb Abstract Nonion, John, and also me. And I just wanted to chat about Asha for a sec before I start because like it's one of the most amazing design community that I'm grateful to be a part of. It's like this design community that is all about pushing design forward in Nigeria and just paving the way for the future of design. And they've been kind enough to help push this stream. I'm actually using Caleb's space right now. We know my office is in this fine. Caleb kind of has like this really cool setup, and I'm just grateful for him for the opportunity to let me use his space. And yeah, I'm super excited. Today's guest needs no introduction. I feel like he is like the nicest human, the nicest motion designer I've ever met. He's the handsome and legendary motion designer, Ben Marriott. How are you doing, Ben?
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the very, very, very kind introduction. It's a pleasure to be on your channel. I love what you're doing. Like, massive respect, like everything, and what you're doing to support, the community and everything over there in Nigeria as well on the ground. So yeah, it's an honor to be
Thank
on
you
the
very
channel.
much, Ben. Honestly, this is the first time in my stream's history where I did not mess up the intro. So that is like
Well
a real
done.
improvement. Thank you very much. So Ben, before we continue with the question about reels, I'm sure like I've never really seen any video or any content where you kind of like talk about yourself, like where you talk about your experience as a motion
Hmm.
designer and how you got started. And I was hoping you could share some of that with us. So Ben, how did you become a motion designer? And how did I know you're not longer like taking on clients? So how did you like transition? How was the
Hmm.
transition into like doing YouTube full time like for you? So like, can you share more of that?
Yeah, for sure. So I started my like background was in like graphic design. That's what I studied at university here in Sydney. And by like a 4 year degree, and it was a very inclusive degree. It was all sorts of designs. We did like industrial design. Like I made more furniture than I made
Yeah.
posters in that time. But I definitely wanted to push into graphic design. And towards the end of that, I decided, well, I don't like graphic design. It's too much. Graphic design was mainly moving around rectangles and text boxes, and I really wanted to do more illustration and digital art. I'd gotten like a Wacom tablet, and I was messing around with that, and I had found that so much more fun. And creating illustrated content, like was the most fun part of the process, and got the best reactions for when I in any assignment that I used to. Also, one reason I did it, another tangent, is because a university they wouldn't let us use copyrighted
Wow.
material, so we couldn't just get photos from Google. So I was like, well, we've got to make our own stuff. Like I knew how to, draw because I've been drawing my whole life. I'll just draw the content, and I found that much more of an enjoyable part of the process than the layout. Um, so I followed that. So for the next few years, I freelanced as an illustrator. Really, struggled poorly because I had no experience. I was just coming out of uni, and managed to scrape by for a couple of years, working on illustration skills, and then I got hired by a company to do illustrations for their animations because they were a video production company that was starting to do more motion graphics. So I thought someone's going to pay me full time to just sit and draw all day. That'll be great. And I did, a mixture of design and illustration there. And then eventually, over about 3 years, not quite 3 years at that company, I just started picking up a little bit more animation skills because like I'd done a tiny bit of After Effects for like one assignment at uni. And then I thought, well, I just try to like adapt more of that into my workflow because I just love that process as well. And decided, well, illustrations, now that's the boring part. I want to see it animated. That's the magic. Like that's what's different. Like there was, I think, a commodity, not commoditization. I can't think of the word. Like it was becoming a bit more of a commodity illustration. I figured, similar to how like digital cameras made everyone a
Yeah.
photographer. Everyone could be an illustrator if they had a tablet or device or something like that, and or paper and the scanner. But I figured, well, if I could make it move, that's a little more exciting to me. Like animation is still magic in my eyes. When something moves properly and it feels like smooth and satisfying, I'm like, oh, there's nothing there's nothing better in the world. So that was just I figured this is what I love and just dove deep into that, and then freelanced for a couple of years after that. After I left a couple of staff positions, and my freelance was going well, so I figured, well, I want to start something on the side, so I started the YouTube channel. And like the idea with the YouTube channel was that it would be it's essentially a way to just get more creative freedom in the jobs I take on. So because I figured, well, if I have more people, if I have an audience of people watching my things, I can decide what I make. I'm not beholden to a
Yeah.
client of their brief and their timeline and their schedule. There's still timelines and schedules and deadlines, and being a YouTuber, but there was less of a focus, and I could just make more of the stuff that I wanted to make. And then the process of like crossing over was relatively easy because as a freelancer, I controlled all my own time and decided what jobs to take on. And as the YouTuber, I decide how many videos I get to make. So I just, as more income started coming from YouTube, and I figured, well, now it's time to pull back a little bit from the freelancing and see if I put all my time into this, whether it could become my full-time thing. And it did at the end of 2019. That was my
Wow.
last freelance job at the
I
end of
think that was
2019. So it's been 2 years. Yeah, 2 years I've been doing this full time with my wife as well. I
yeah.
have to shout out to Zoe, shout out to the
Hi
wife, who's an
Zoe.
amazing producer and editor and helps me do everything on this channel. So I couldn't do it without her. We're not a one man team,
So
two man team over here.
I think that was when I actually like 2019 was when I actually like started really really getting into your content. I think that's when like that video where you were testing out AI. That's when it really started to. I feel like that's when I started noticing all those videos. I was like towards the end of 2019 to
Yes.
2020, and it's really really cool. I feel like I can relate with your story to an extent. Only the fact that I'm not an illustrator, but I can relate with the graphic design part. Like I feel like as a motion designer, like having a graphic design background is almost always key, because like I mean you can always be like the most amazing animator, and if the design sucks, nobody is going to look at it. So like
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, the question I would like to ask from everything you said is, do you miss freelancing?
Yeah, I miss some parts of freelancing, not all parts. What I don't miss is feedback, clients, that kind of thing. I don't miss. Although, feedback is still important, and that's probably a thing. No one
Yeah,
likes it, but we all
yeah.
need it. But I don't miss that. I miss the camaraderie. I miss going to a studio and working on a project together that's bigger than that I can just do. That I can work with, awesome cell animators that do things that I don't know how to do, and awesome character animators, awesome designers. Like I was very fortunate for that. For 2019, Buck was my only freelance
Wow.
client, so I just worked with them, and I got to work on some amazing projects with just people way
Yeah.
more talented than me, and it was fantastic. It was a great learning
My
experience.
next,
So yeah, it was really,
my follow-up
really
question
wonderful.
to that was if, like, let's say a dream client calls you back for a freelance project. I don't know who your dream client is. Mine is Tendril and Man vs. Machine. So I'm just putting it out there, like Tendril, Man vs. Machine, even Buck. If you guys have seen me,
Hire
yeah,
this
please
man.
hire me. I'm like an amazing 3D artist. Just putting it out there. I don't know if anyone is watching, but like I'm putting it out there. But like, if your dream client calls you back, would you go back to freelancing?
Yeah, I'm not closing the doors fully, but it would have to be something special, and it would only be for the love of the project. If it was, because like I know everyone like I would love to do, music video, but I know music videos have no budget and they have no time frame. But if someone came to me, like one of my favorite artists or something,
What's
Tommy
your
York
favorite
came and
artist
said,
right
"Hey,
now?
we've got uh I really love like Alex
Alex
Cameron.
Cameron.
He'd been doing some great
So
stuff
if Alex
lately.
Cameron
Alex
comes
Cameron, he's from
around,
Sydney.
would you say yes?
Um, maybe like it would depend on like because it's not the artist as well. Like a music video comes through their label normally, and the label they don't decide the budget. So the artist just turns up on the day, and normally got one day to shoot something and made stuff. But yeah, I think if it was the right job, I'd be doing that. And thank you to everyone in the chat as
Yes.
well. Thank you to hello
I just
everyone.
saw a message that says, "Raj, please increase your voice." Is it any better now? Is this any better? I'm just going to. I'm basically like winging the stream. Like nothing in this stream is set in stone. We're basically just going with the flow as much as possible. Does this sound good? Let me know if it sounds good. You can just help me comment live, and yeah, I'm just going to assume that it sounds good, and then we can continue. I kind of
Hmm.
reduced my audio when you started speaking, so I wouldn't like you wouldn't hear all my ums every second every time you say something. But yeah, so like I feel like I'm like so inspired by how you started and like where you are right now. And it's kind of a dream for me, but like it's becoming more pronounced. It's like I don't want to completely leave the freelance world or the working for a client, but I want to be able to
Hmm.
take on less projects every year. Like instead of one project, instead of like doing multiple projects like every time and moving on to the next one after every project, I want to be able to like, do like 5 projects a year and that's it. Like that's where I want my freelance like
Hmm.
that's where I want my freelance journey to be at the moment. And I can totally relate with everything you're saying. I'm more like focusing on like personal projects as much as possible. Like I shared one of my personal project with you, which is the Jellyfields project, and I wanted to send you a print, but you
Hmm.
declined. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I have no room. It needs to be soundproof if it's in this room.
Yeah,
If you can print it on felt, we can talk.
definitely. I feel like we could always arrange it.
But it's an awesome project. It's an awesome project. Everyone should check it out. I'm sure you'll leave a link to it
Definitely,
somewhere after the stream.
definitely. So I feel like we've spent enough time talking about each other. Let's just get into why we came here, which is about reels. So Ben, briefly, can you
Hmm.
describe what show reels are in the world of motion design?
So a showreel is essentially just your portfolio condensed to a short video, a montage of the best work that you've done normally over the last year or two to just send out to clients so they know, hey, this is the work that you do, what you're capable of, and like really get them hyped up to want to hire you essentially.
That makes sense. It's like the portfolio of a motion designer, but it doesn't just apply to the world of motion design. Essentially, like you could be like a an actor and have a showreel. Like I've seen some really nice acting showreel. I feel like
Yeah, actors,
when
anything with video, VFX, artists, even like yeah, directors, editors, like those like, I think they're a lot harder to communicate, I
yeah,
imagine, in showreel than an animation because like, oh, here's what I animated. Like, how do you show what you've edited in an edited thing? Like, but animation, I think it's relatively straightforward. But yeah, anything, even photography, anything that can be put to video, you can make a showreel out of it, I
that
assume.
makes sense. I'm like I don't know. I've always been lazy to do show reels. It feels weird because I'm the one making a video. Like I'm making a video about show reels, and I'm inviting you. Like it was supposed to be you and Ryan Summers, and it's like this cool idea, and I'm like too lazy to finish my own reel. It's
Oh, I haven't updated my reel since 2019 either. It's like it's the hardest thing to do. It's same with updating your own website. Like the web designers like don't make their portfolio site like those aren't the people that you want. Like making stuff for yourself is the hardest thing. Yeah, it always gets pushed back, and it's never good enough, so it never gets completed. So that's why show reels are tricky. I think people should, if you want to get one done, just try to like set a deadline. Say every March I'm going to release a new one or something like that, or maybe if you've got over a winter break or something. Oh, like I know in January tends to be a quieter month here in Australia. So, if well, I'm going to probably have less clients here, then's the
update your show
time to,
reel. You
work on the
know,
reel. Yeah, but then it never takes, priority over client work. So it just gets
yeah,
pushed back.
that makes sense. I feel like I have. I'm before I dive into that question, I would like to ask like, what do you think is the most important thing when it comes to showreel? Like, what is that? What is the most important thing?
The most important thing in showreel, I think, is you want to try to communicate like your skills as effectively as possible. You don't want to oversell your skills by putting in like lots of crazy work and crazy effects, but you don't want to give yourself the best opportunity to get the job essentially. And I think one of the hardest things to do, but one of the best things, is to get your personality in there because when you're hiring someone, it's a multi-part equation. It's how good your work is and how good you are to work with. Those are the main two important things, and whether you can deliver on time. Whether you can deliver on time, that's hard to
So,
communicate.
sorry, please, can you
Um,
run that back a little bit? Like, I missed one thing.
yeah, yeah. So I think communicating
Communicating
your
your
personality
personality.
across in the show reel, I think, is the most important thing because being good, having good work and being good to work with, I think are the two most key factors in hiring someone. And if you can show that you're nice to work with in your show reel, now that's very difficult, but I think one way you do that is by showing your personality, showing that you're not just doing the same monotonous work. There's a bit of
Yeah.
character. You're going to be a human being that they can interact with, and I think showing some difference in your work. And I think the easiest way to do that is with your intro. Even if you have all your work is generic corporate work, that's 90% of the
Yeah.
work I did when I was freelancing. But filling it with personal projects that say something about you, that communicate, oh, you be an interesting human to
Yeah.
work with. You've got some humor. You're not just a
Give me a
robot. That I think is the
Okay,
most
so
important.
I've been getting complaints about my audio, so I want to take the next 1 minute to like work on it, and I'll need you guys' help. So just let me know when it sounds good enough to hear. So I'm
Mhm.
going to adjust the audio from the card, and you can just tell me if it's good. So I'm trying to reach down for the sound card because at the bottom it's like on the floor. So yeah, sorry.
Don't worry, I will entertain the streamers.
Yeah, sorry,
Uh,
that was fast. How does this sound? Jesus Christ. It sounds like I'm blowing up the mic. How does this sound? Does this sound good? Like, can you guys hear me? I would appreciate if you could. If you could, let me know in the chat if you can hear me properly. Um, we already have questions in the chat, but please, before you send in your question, can you just let me know? The volume is okay, but the balance is a bit off. Okay, let me try see if I can set the balance. Scarlett audio. Sorry, just going to try and position this properly. Doing proper audio is really difficult.
Audio is hard. It's even more so than video, and it may be more important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like position the mic closer to my voice in a way, so like you're getting more of my voice, and maybe I'm just going to move to this direction, so I'm basically directly on top of the mic, and you can just let me know if this sounds better. And I'm just going to set the balance. I'm just going to work on the balance. Oh my god, this image doesn't look pretty at all. I'm just going to like work on the balance a little bit and see if it sounds any better. Does this sound better? Okay, I feel like when I like put it this way, like I get more, like it's getting more of my voice. So I think probably this is how I would be talking going forward, I guess. Just let me know if it sounds good in the chat. Okay, someone said it sounds better, so let's go. So back to where you were, yeah,
Let's
like
go.
back to where you
Excellent.
were saying about the most important parts of a show reel, and you said something about being able to communicate what you're trying to sell. I'm rephrasing what you said. I'm not sure you said it exactly that way, but I'm hoping that's what you meant. And you said something about showing your personality.
Yes. I think, putting your personality in your reel is not only a way to make you stand out, it's going to make you memorable, and it is a way for, the client to know, okay, I can hire this person. They're going to be someone that I can talk to around lunch. They're going to have give them a bit of assurance that you're a human being that they can, interact with pleasantly. But really, that's one of the main things that's going to set you apart. Like, what makes you unique is you, and if you can get that into your reel, that will make you stand out, because people that are hiring motion designers are almost certainly, if they're working for an animation studio, they see hundreds of reels, like maybe a week. If they're hiring, maybe even more. So they know the work that's out there. It's their job to make the work that's out there. So they know what kind of work exists, what level they're looking for. So if they see a reel that's too good, they might think, we don't need to, we can't hire this person. They'll be overpriced, or they'll leave as soon as they get a better opportunity. If the work's not at that level, they won't be hiring them. But if it's in that right spot, they think, okay, well, I've got 24 people to choose from. This person has a unique voice. And even if it might just be more suited to that project, because what you want is, if you're hiring a freelancer especially, you want someone who's specialized, who's going to be the best for this project. Sometimes you might want, a Swiss Army knife who can do everything, but most of the time, if you're hiring a freelancer, it's for a specific job, and if you have those specific skills, that's going to make you a lot more attractive. So focus on what you're unique.
It's just like focusing on what, like, like the specific thing you're like really, really good at.
Yeah, and when I first did my reel, my first reel, I was very intentional about what work I included. Like, probably more so my second reel, actually, my 2019 one, where I didn't include any of the boring client stuff. It was like, to be honest, 60% personal projects, because I just wanted to do more work like that, more textured, more illustrative motion work, not just the bland corporate stuff that I know was probably the most of what I was being paid for, and the most of what I will be hired for, but at least showed that, this is the type of work they do. We can, I can be approached for that kind of work, because people don't know what work you do unless you show them. So showreel is the best opportunity to show them that.
Yes. There's something you said that I would really like to go back to, which is like about being specific with what you want. I feel like if you can like focus on those unique selling points, like I feel like based on all the reels I've seen today, it's like everyone wants to sell way different things, and like if you're good at characters, just focus on characters, And if you're good at like just like for me, I'm like really good at making beautiful images, and I'm trying not to be good at making beautiful images. I want to be better at animations because my animations suck. But if I was to like finish my showreel today, that'll probably be my selling point because that is my special skill is like working on like the most beautiful images that to make you cry. I haven't really made an image that has made anyone cry yet, but that's my goal.
That's the goal. All right.
Yeah. I'd like, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's a great goal. That's what you should focus on. And that is hard for a lot of people, especially when you're just starting, because you don't have this vast portfolio of tons of examples to show. You might only have a few client projects. And I see there's a question in the chat about whether you can create a project just for the showreel.
Yes.
I see nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not misleading, like it's a personal project, as long as you don't say, oh, you animate 6 seconds and say, oh yeah, that was part of a 20-minute thing I did for Marvel. Like, don't, as long as you're honest and say, oh, that was a personal project. My showreel was full of like 5-second loops that I made for Instagram because they were the most exciting bits of work that I did. So I think like I wouldn't specifically go out to just try to create a reel. Like ideally, if they're real projects, because one thing I was pretty also specific about when making my reel is not to include any work that I couldn't do in it. Like I worked for a bunch of projects on Buck, but a lot of the shots I work on, I'm doing the less interesting stuff. Like there might be awesome character animation in there. And when a client sees that, they go, oh wow, we love this shot in your show reel. We love the characters in there. If I have to come back and say, yeah, actually, I didn't do the characters. I just did the clouds in the background. That's a bit of a letdown and a little bit misleading. You want them to think, if they say, did you do this in your show reel? You want them to say, hell yeah, I did that in my show reel. And, if you work on larger projects, just communicate that in like, maybe have a breakdown in the description. I don't think you need to have it on screen. But just say, hey, I did the compositing for this. I didn't, not the characters, say, design plus animation or just design and something like that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I like to answer that question. I'm working on a project. I'm working on multiple projects. It's not just one, just because I want to do my showreel. Mm-hmm. So like, it's 100% fine to like work on projects just for your showreel, as far as you're clear about it that this is just a personal project. Like,
yeah, and most people don't care about that at all. Like, you might not even have to say it's a personal project as long as it's not. I suppose, like you said in the chat, it's a personal project is still a project. That's as long as the people hiring you know that, that's you're capable of doing that. That's all that's important. And to be honest, if it's a personal project, that might even sell them more because they know, they like to do this in their free time. They weren't just forced to do this for the money. These people is passionate about it.
Yeah, so my brother is like kind of in the chat, and then he's saying something about my mom watching me.
I know, he's roasting you.
And he's asking me why I want to make images.
Hello, Mrs. Raj.
Yeah, he just called out Mrs. Raj. I'm sorry. That was hilarious. It's really? Mrs. Roland. Okay, sorry.
Mrs. the goat. Also, goat mother.
Yeah, like. Thank you for coming. Okay, so for the next question, because we kind of like went off on that question, on the last question, is like, what are the properties of a good reel?
Mm-hmm. Great reel is most importantly, maybe even more than showing personality, is short. If a reel is over 1 minute, there better be a damn good reason for it, I think. Like, I'm not even a person that hires people, like a lot of motion designers, so I'm not sitting through 100 reels. And after a few seconds, like our attention spans are so small, we like to think that people are going to watch our reel, they're going to sit down, full screen, get their headphones on and prepare to watch it. And people are going to see it in a feed and they're going to skim through every few seconds. I've seen, creative directors just play a reel and, just go straight to the middle or and watch a few seconds and go, yeah, that's good enough. And, hire someone or let's say, nah, not what we're looking for. Like, assume like the person watching your reel does not want to be there and is going to turn off at any sort of sign of boredom or anything like that. Maybe not that you should appease to, just the lowest common denominator in that way, but you got to make it exciting, fast-paced. Get straight to the point, put your best work up front, and put one of the best stuff at the end. But the first 10 seconds should really wow them, because half the people aren't going to make it past that. So don't waste your time saving your best work.
You know, that last point just like is like you constantly, like, you know, when you take a knife and like stab an already injured art. That's what that last answer was. Because I could remember my last reel, the first 10 seconds was like an intro of just me saying, I am Orlando Olamide. And that was what most people keep saying about my last reel. The intro was too long and should have just gone straight into the work. So it was like, I know, and like you're pointing it out again.
Yeah, I mean, if your intro is exciting,
but that's the thing, it's not.
10 seconds at the start is really cool animation. But if it's just text going, you're about to witness a show reel, like people know who you are, or they might not care. Like really, like unless you're the biggest name in the world, no one that doesn't matter. They want to see the work. So
I'm for my next reel, I'm going to take out that 10 seconds concept and just go straight to the work instead. So to follow up with the last question, which is, what do people get wrong most about reels? Like, what do you think? I know you critique a lot of reels. What do you think people get wrong?
I think definitely like the length. Like people leave it too long. I think people are getting better at that. Like the more reels I see, the more them are around 30.
I feel like you changed that,
and not
you single-handedly changed that.
Well, hopefully. Oh well, I don't know whether I can claim that, but I would love to. Hello, we've got Alex from Amatita Studio in the chat as well. Hello, Shiki, Caleb.
Yeah.
Also, other things that people get wrong is not being like brutal with their edit, like leaving in projects that aren't their best. Like if you have 10 projects, 4 of them are 9 out of 10s, 3 of them are 8s, and I don't know how many's left. 3 of them are like 6s. Just remove all the 6s, because people are going to assume on average all your content is an 8.5. Anything like there's a temptation to put in all your work and put in work that's maybe not as good because clients need to see what kind of work I do. I want to show that I can do this style. If it's not as good as your other stuff, it's gonna just take them, take the opinion down at the overall level. You want to leave them wanting more. So if they want, they're going to be more likely to follow up and say, hey, we really love your reel. Every single shot in it was excellent. Can you show us some of your other work? And then you've got, you're in contact with them. You've got their email address. They're on the hook. Then it's a lot easier to move forward from there. So just the very, very best. Like I know there's an old adage of before you go out at night, you should take off, one item of jewelry or something, because people tend to just put on the most, stuff to feel, it's glamorous, but less is more in that sense. Just stick to the best stuff so people aren't going to see.
So like go back on
nothing can.
Go back on that is like, I feel like one mistake I made, like a lot of this is like personal for me, is like this is actually like, should I call it a therapy session for my next reel? Is like we're here planning my next reel together. So like
and I only know these because I made all these mistakes. Like my first reel was like 2 minutes long, way too long. It was terrible.
Exactly, because like I feel like the first mistake I made in my first reel was that I was trying to fill in the time. So I would just put a shot just to fill in the time. And I feel like if your reel is like 20 seconds and it's the best thing you've ever done in your life, keep it at 20 seconds. Because you're just trying to sell your skill. Like, don't try to fill time. Nobody actually sits down to watch a whole minute, except motion design lovers like us. We're the one who sit down to watch like minutes and minutes of reels. But everyone else, like the producers who are actually hiring you, are like very busy people. So like they will not sit down. Like they will just, like my reel, they just skip over my, like just 10 seconds, nothing mind blowing, just some type, which is handwriting. Moving on to the next person. And I have no idea how many projects I've lost based on that. But it's a big mistake, and you should always put all your like long intros to the end. I think you should always put it's subjective. It's very subjective. There's like no rules on all this. These are just like based on how I've experienced it in the past. obviously John has way more experience than I do in this field. But yeah. Okay, I want to go into like the next few questions, and then I'm going to try my best to first like go into them really quickly, and then we can just go straight into critiquing reels like ASAP.
All right, rapid
Yeah,
fire.
so the next question is, how do you think the reels are going to evolve in the next few years?
I think reels are going to have to evolve in a way to accommodate AR and VR experiences, which I think are going to be a much bigger part of the industry. In my first reel, like in 2017, I had done a couple of VR things, and it was a challenge to like, how do I show this? So essentially what we had to do is like open it up in QuickTime and then do a screen recording and be panning around it. And I think hopefully technology will be better, that you can just put in a camera and quickly record a video inside it. But I think communicating that is going to be a challenge, because our work isn't just going to be, oh, in the show reel, it's exactly what you saw in the final thing. It was an ad on TV. Now it's in my show reel. It's, oh, no, this was something that people walked through and experienced, and figuring out how to communicate that in the reel, I think will be a challenge. I don't know how it will be done, but I think that's something that, people might want to think about, is how do you portray, those things, especially also like it doesn't even have to be VR now, like even maybe design elements, like how do you get your style frames and show them without it just being static and slowing down the whole reel, like keeping with a little bit of motion.
I feel like only one person has been able to do that successfully so far in all my years of seeing reels. But like that goes on to the next question. But before that, I was going to say like, I'm thinking like we're going to be seeing more experience-focused motion designers. I'm hoping to become one next year, so maybe we'll see that from me. So it's like web experiences, VR, AR, those things are like the future of our industry, and I can't wait to see more people try that out. So I don't want to dwell too much on that, and I just want to like go straight to the next question, which is, what is the best reel you've seen so far, and why is it the best reel?
Now, the best reel I think I've seen, like I've seen a lot of great ones that I probably won't remember, but Ariel Costa, Blink My Brains reel, that his last one is outstanding. I know, big friend of the channel. I know you had the pleasure of interviewing him, which I'm very jealous for. But it's great. Not only is he's I think one of the greatest living motion designer. Like his design and the animation is all so good. So that helps when your reel has the best quality to work with. But it's edited really nicely as well. It has an awesome soundtrack. It's edited the music. It's not too long. It's fast paced. It's just really.
I think he's the only person who is allowed to break the time rule.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch 30 minutes of his work back to back.
Because like it's just amazing work cut together really, really well. Like they just flowed well. Like they all came together well. To answer the question for myself, the best reel I've seen so far is like two reels. It's Nidia Diaz's reel, which is why I said like Nidia Diaz is the only person who has been able to successfully like put design in a reel, like put style frames design in a reel and make it work so well. And also Imaginary Forces reel, like those two reels are my best in the world. Imaginary Forces was more for like their narrative, like how they were able to put so much of their personality and like the storytelling and the essence of like of their company and their core values into one reel. I feel like that is like really, really important. Shikis, I'm going to put the names of the motion designers and the links to the reel in the chat in a sec. We're about to go straight into reel. I'm kind of done with questions for now. Sorry, I've kind of been biting off this chocolate. I'm like, it's my coping mechanism. Like this show hasn't really gone well, and I just want to treat myself to chocolate. So join me. I'm going.
Thanks, Love. Yeah, Nidia Diaz is what a fantastic reel she made. If you see that in the chat, Nidia Diaz. She's
I'm
wonderful.
trying to find a link to the reel, so I can just post it on the chat, so everyone can check it out.
Yep,
as well as Ariel's.
Thank you, Kel, in the chat.
The crazy thing about our reel is like it's like a really old reel. It's like 2018. And it's still relevant till today. I'm trying to find links to the exact reel, so you can all check it out in your own time. Sorry.
Thank you for the links.
Yep.
And of course, all the show reels of all the people in the chat are also the most excellent show reels that I've seen. Even if I haven't seen them, I'm sure you've got excellent show reels. I'm sure they're very, very short.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't wait to dive into the reels today. Like,
Yeah, no, you sent me them ahead of time, and they are good. There's some good ones. A lot of excellent.
okay, so
work.
this is Blink My Brain's reel. And finally, Imaginary Forces.
Excellent. Yeah, and Raymond in the chat, you don't have to update your reel if you have a lot of work. I think update your reel once you have better work. And once your reel's about 3 years old, that's when I'd kind of think, why hasn't this person made a new reel? Have they not made any work? Have they fallen off the face of the earth? But yeah, you don't need to update it every year if you don't want. But if you do have the work to do it, I'd encourage you.
Definitely. I'm kind of updating my reel because my current reel doesn't show like my skill level. I feel like in the space of like a few months, I've like gone 100x in terms of like what I can do. So like that's the only reason why I feel like I didn't need to update my reel. So let's go straight into reels. I just want to be sure like it didn't work with the last time I tried. The last time I tried to make it work. But yeah, I'm going to also be leaving the spreadsheet in like the description so you can check out everybody's reel. I'll be sure to take out their emails, but I'll just put their names. You can check out everyone's reel and like say I leave a nice comment on each of their reel. Everyone who submitted, you're going to get I'm going to publish the reel, like the list of submissions. I'm going to publish it later after this call so everyone can check it out. So let me switch to the real scene, and yeah, let me move away from this chat. And then let's go to the first reel, which is from Jaime. I hope I didn't say I hope I didn't mess up your name. Jaime. And we're going to just look at this reel, and you're going to have a few comments. Ben, can you open the reel on your end?
I'm watching it now. Well, I'm ready to go.
Please hold on. Let me play it. Let me just set OBS properly, and then we can all watch it together. Transition. So let me just turn on like desktop audio, and hopefully when I play it, you guys should be able to hear the audio. So Jamie, let's look at your reel. Ben, you can also play it on your end. Lovely reel, Jaime. I really love the length, and I'm just going to leave a like right now. The one like is from me. So Ben, do you have any thoughts on Jamie's reel?
Oh, I like this reel. This is really good. It's not really good. It's not too long. Not too long. I like the intro. The intro, it's maybe 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Really energetic. Really energetic. It shows a bunch of skills. What they're about. It's a good collection of work, and it has a unique voice. Like almost everything has this real textured, cinematic, 3D shine in a stud, which I think is great. Like it communicates this person has a vision and a style. I think they've done a good job editing it together.
So what would you say Jamie can improve about this reel?
Okay, so I think there are quite a few shots that are pretty slow of just some like the landscapes of what looks to me like turbulent displace in lots of colors, and I think they're at about the 8-second mark, between like 8 and 12 seconds. There's just, I think, few too many of those scenes that aren't as interesting as there's a bunch later, around the 27-second mark that are, to me, a lot more interesting, that seem more exciting. So I think either just reduce the amount of time they're on screen for. You could like edit them tighter. You could get rid of them completely, but don't have them right at the beginning. I think if they were more towards the end, if you did really want to include them in, but those are the only things that stood out to me. What did you think?
Yeah, I feel like the part that really like threw me off about the reel is just the length of each shot. It just felt like, okay, we're seeing this, and like, yeah, I've seen this before. Like, why don't we just move on to the next shot? And it's something you pointed out, is like the length of each shot is just too long, and I feel like if you can cut those things down. And the music is great. Like, you have one of the best music I've heard so far. I really love the music. And I just feel like if you can just tighten the shots, it would feel so much better. This is based on my thoughts. I don't think I'm like really the best at editing, but like it's just what I feel. Kind of just tighten.
Yeah,
I think the shots.
I don't mind the shot length for most of them. I think it's just those few at the start. I think they're just not as exciting as everything else. Like, I think most of your shots in here are like 8 or 9s out of 10, but those ones pretty close to the start, I think, are maybe 6s compared to everything else. So if you get rid of those out of there, I think it's really, really, like, we'll just tip it over to be even.
So it's like, based on everything we're saying now, is like the arrangement, putting the best parts in the front, and for me, it's just the shot length for some of the shots. Not everything. Some of them are actually really perfect. And I freaking love the intro and outro. Yeah. Like, it's so clean. I'm going to...
And this is like...
Sorry, go on, Joe.
This is like great work. This is a very good reel. Like, we're being nitpicking, but if we saw, on average 100 reels, I think this is being the very top. The very top there. They did, awesome job, awesome work, and awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jamie. I'm going to move on to the next reel. So I'm trying not to show my spreadsheet of reels so you don't see all the names and the ones that I picked. But yeah, F it. Yeah. So you guys are just going to see it. So the next one is Patrick. Patrick has one of my favorite reels today. So I'm just going to play it. Yeah. I and like Caleb were just like talking about this reel, and like I'm just going to play it and then we can chat about it after. I was super excited about just chatting about this reel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like the best part about this reel, I want to start with the best part. Like, the best part about this reel is the fact that the shots, like the shots transition well with each other. Like, it was difficult to tell for some shots that this were not the same project. Like that's
Absolutely.
that is my favorite part about this reel. Like just that transition. If you just give me those
Com-
transition, I'm good. I earn you.
com- I completely agree. And we haven't talked about these beforehand, but like absolutely. Like this stands out as in some of the shots that what I think are some of the weaker shots, the fact that they transition so smoothly into the next ones, just using like match cuts, matching the directional motion of them moving to the right, makes it feel a lot more considered. Like you've only got like the quality of your work is not really something you can control once you're making the show
Yeah.
reel. You've only got the work that you've got. But if you're a more experienced motion designer, you might have better work. If you're just new, it's going to be at a different level. But you can still edit a reel like better than someone who's a much better animator than you. And like the work in here is great, but the way they edit it is like top tier. Like the best I've seen in some show reels. Like you can take a shot that is less interesting and make it feel great just by even if it's just a couple position keyframes that you're adding after the fact. Whether or not this motion was in the original animation at all, you can go back into old projects and just tweak it a little bit so it flows smoother. And they've done a fantastic job. Like really awesome.
Yeah, I feel like the only critique that everyone like everyone is pointing out is the sound. Jesus, I forgot to turn on the sound, the music. Nobody heard the song. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Sorry. Now I have to replay it.
It was great. Trust. The music was great. Trust. They did well. They did well.
I Sorry, let me just pause it. Ben, do you have any other critique for this reel? Like, what would you say Patrick could improve? Apart from, I know Patrick already has like the best edit so far. Like everything was just flowing. But this is not. So even though he has the best edit, this is not like there's still so many things he could improve. What would you like?
Yeah, I think
What would you like to point out?
really like Patrick's done a very good job here, but I think that everyone just being a little more brutal with their edit. Like there are a couple of shots that aren't as strong as others, and I think there's one shot in particular which I really like the transition, which is right in the middle. It's of this timeline,
Yeah.
going from left to right. I love the match cut at the end, but I think it's on screen for just a few 2 seconds long. Like the first 2 seconds, like not very interesting, but then it gets really exciting once the date pops up and then it really slides really fast to the right. And I think, even though it kind of sets up a little bit of the context of that this is a timeline, I don't think you need that. I think you could cut the first half of that and just include, the best bits of that shot. And yeah, I think like that was the main thing. And I thought I'd, be a little bit specific with this one, but I think they've done a very good job. What do you think?
Yeah, I think just like what you said, just tightening the shot and just making it flow better. I feel like probably a lot of problems we're going to be seeing more and more is just problems with tightening shots and shot selection. Like this has the best edit. I'm going to just say it outrightly. This has the best edit I've seen in so many, like in a real, not a
Yeah,
real
I think
period, but like today in all the submissions, this has the best edit. Like
Yeah, and I think that's pretty safe advice. Like, if we don't get around to viewing your reel today, or if you didn't submit one, no, like, make it shorter, take out the weaker shots. Like, I think everyone, even the best reels we've seen, like, by the best people in the industry, like, if they took out the weaker shots, it would be improved.
yeah. Okay, I just want to, before I continue with the next reel, I just want to do a quick check with everyone in the chat. How is my audio so far? How is our audio? I know, like, audio has been the biggest complaint this evening. The visuals are fine. Everything is going okay with the visuals, but like every second the audio just keeps deciding to be weird. So like please just leave a comment saying something about the audio and if it sounds good. And I'm just going to continue anyways, even while waiting for you to say something, and I'll try my best to improve on it as we go on. Let me know if there's any echo or anything. I'll try my best to improve on it. Thank you very much. So let me move on to the next thing, the next reel. Also, I'm trying not to show you like all my spreadsheets of highlighted reels so you don't know who I'm showing next. So the next person is Mei Lee. I'm kind of like, I selected this reel for a reason, and I just want to rewatch it to re-experience that moment when I saw it. I feel like this is a great reel. Let's look at it together. You know, tonight I wanted to
dance to the song on and on. We do it with the lights on. We like to do it with the lights on. Bang on a gong, on and on. We do it with the lights on. All night we do it with the lights on.
You know, Meili, I'm just going to say, like, your work is freaking amazing. I'm just going to say it outright. Like, your work is amazing. And your reel is really good. But I would like Ben to point out the things that you think are wrong with this reel.
Well, I'm not sure. You might have different things to say to me because I think this is fantastic. The work is incredible. I love how this is edited. You do a really good job. And something we were talking about earlier that's difficult is if your work is in a real environment, like you've got sort of on-screen displays, you're showing, I think, really well, like at stadiums and things like that. It can be hard, but I think you've done a really good job for that. And I think, like, to be honest, like the work is great. You clearly have a unique voice and personality. I think the music matches that. The only thing that I'd say is like having the music track fade out doesn't end on a high note. I think ideally you want to end on a bit of a, celebratory, not necessarily the climax of the reel, because I think your best stuff should be at the front, but you should have one or two projects at the end to just hammer it home. And I think just some of the weaker projects are at the very end, and the music's, tapering out as well. But I think the track you chose was great. Other than that, because I think it's the same track, and you're kind of married to editing in that style there. But really, really fantastic work, and I think you've done a good job editing. Yeah, I want to hear what you think, Rog.
Okay, I think this has one of the best music I've heard tonight. Hands down. Like, there was a part of the music where I was actually nodding my head, and I was like, this is so nice. What is this song? I feel like I have the same comments for most of the reels tonight. Is like, I feel like tightening your edits a bit more could be nice. And also, that sound ending could also, like, be better. Like, the ending could be better, and also the intro is pretty nice, but I think those two things could be better, and just tightening your shots. Like, this is obviously really, really good reel. Like, you have a good body of work. Like I want to, if I was like a rich person and I was like a rich producer, I would hire you right away because I'm confident in your like skill. And one of the things you did really, really well, I don't know, like there's like a recurring theme of like, your reel is one of the most focused ones I've seen. Like, it's just like, this is what I'm good at. I am me for this. And there's no like fluff or any extra thing. It's like, this is what I'm good at, which is making this really cute 2D style. I am me for this. And it's like on brand, which everything that I'm seeing here. and I freaking love it. Like, please continue this.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's
Massive success.
yeah, this is a great reel. I feel like it's just the same thing I have. The same problems I have with most reels is just tightening the shots, removing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Less is more, or like less of a part of the reel is always better than showing more. A part of a project is always better than showing all the thing and letting it linger for too long. But other than that, this was like a really good reel, a really good body of work. Like, I want to see more from you. I'm going to just give you a like. Oh, I already did. Did I? Yes, I just
I
did.
would like to.
Yeah. And give you a follow because I want to see more of what you did.
Yeah, like if I had a job that needed someone to animate in this style, you'd be hired instantly. Like you proved that you are excellent at this type of work.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to say that I'm like, sorry, this is like a not the I saw a comment saying something about getting your email on the spreadsheet. This is not an updated version of the spreadsheet. I'm so sorry. Like, I was like, I'm going to reach out to my friend and ask him to send me a new version of the spreadsheet. So I'm going to post that after. I'm going to post it on the in the description, and I'm going to leave comments in everyone's reels. Hopefully you posted like a Vimeo link so I can easily leave a comment. And if I'm not able to get on your reel, I'm going to do that, and everyone is going to be able to see your work. But yeah, good work, Meili. I really love your work. I'm giving you a follow. I'm going to be following you for life. Can't wait to see what you do. I probably would end up reaching out later. Okay, so the next reel is from a friend of mine. I kind of consider him the best motion designer in West Africa, like best character animator and so the motion designer in West Africa. And his reel was kind of the most ambitious out of all the reels, and that's why I'm like so excited to critique it. And that's why I'm also excited to hear your thoughts about it, because like this is experimental. I'm not like, I wasn't really expecting, I'm not really necessarily expecting anyone to do this for a reel. Like, it's so nice and it's experimental, and there's probably a lot of things that could improve, but I can't wait to hear your thoughts on his reel, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on it as well.
All right, buckle up. I think if this is the one I'm thinking about, I got some thoughts. It might get spicy.
Yeah, it's the one with Ed, Lime and Oni. Ed at Lime and Oni.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a 20, we caught your attention. We made you look closer. We showed you the power of narratives and opened your minds to trips of possibilities. Once upon a double 20, we believed in your creation story. So much so that your ideas were crafted into intricate pieces to make a connection even in isolation. We are Lime, the accurate process of piecing together bluebirds so that your vision can stay longer on the street. We are Ani, the healthy substitute for a growing brand, the spark to your synapses, releasing rolls of excitement in anticipation of your teams, your building blocks. Every story deserves to be told through the eyes of its creator, in an enticing style to trigger a swipe right, compelling enough to warrant a sign in here, to bring your followers on a journey around the world, a blast off through space. And this is where you take your rightful place as king. So recline and unwind while we churn out the juices of your imagination, because once upon a now, your kingdom awaits.
Okay, before I go into this reel, I'm just going to give it a like and give my friend a follow because it's amazing. I feel like, sorry, let me fix my video feed first, then we can start talking. Give me a sec. Hopefully OBS doesn't fail me like it has been doing all day. So like my camera just died. So I'm using the backup camera, which is like this amazing Logitech owned by my friend Caleb. So let me scale it a little bit and we should be good. Yeah, it kind of, this camera is a snitch. It kind of shows you everything. Um, yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be using this camera for the rest of the stream. Hopefully it's not too much of a snitch. It doesn't show you everything in the background. I'm so sorry, my background is messy. Okay, let me transition. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, give me a sec. Let me get this camera charging. One sec. Okay. Here's the charger. You have to like take it off the tripod and then plug it in the battery. Okay, let's continue. So Ben, what are your thoughts on this reel so far?
Okay, I think I was watching the reel might have paused half in the middle. So I think let us know in the chat. Did you only see the first half of the reel? Because I'm not sure. Because I wasn't watching the video feed. I'm not sure what happened, but let us know if you want us to watch the second half of the reel.
Shit,
We can,
I'm so sorry. Like I feel
put that
like
on.
I'm going to replay it now, and you can let me know if it's good. Sorry, if it's all good.
Once upon a 20, we caught your attention. We made you look closer. We showed you the power of narratives and opened your minds to trips of possibilities. Once upon a double 20, we believed in your creation story. So much so that your ideas were crafted into intricate pieces to make a connection even in isolation. We are line, the accurate process of piecing together blueprints so that your vision can stay longer on the street. We are Annie, the healthy substitute for a growing brand, the spark to your synapses, releasing balls of excitement in anticipation of your teams, your building blocks. Every story deserves to be told through the eyes of its creator, in an enticing style to trigger a swipe right, compelling enough to warrant a sign in here, to bring your followers on a journey around the world, a blast off through space. And this is where you take your rightful place as king. So recline and unwind while we churn out the juices of your imagination, because once upon a now, your kingdom awaits.
Yeah, so did you guys get to see it? Hopefully you did. Yeah, I am going to be nice and brutal at the same time because I know Ed can take it. Yeah, so Ben, what are your thoughts so far?
Oh, okay. So first of all, obviously, incredibly ambitious. I love that more than anything, like having the confidence to do something different with it. Obviously, like you said, the work is awesome. Like there's so much great stuff in here that
Yes.
I'll also be brutal as well mainly because I'm pretty sure they could take it because their work is so good.
Yeah.
But to me, this is just like so close to being absolute perfection of a reel. But like the only thing that takes it back from me, well, there's two things. Is one is the length. I think it is too long, and I think if this was, it's like like a minute 45. If this was a minute 10 or something, you can go. I'll let you go over a minute. And they just kept the absolute best work in there, it would be phenomenal. That would obviously need, reducing the script down a little bit as well. Like, I love the idea of the script and the voiceover. Normally, I would think this kind of stuff is really pretentious. Here, I think it works because they add that self-deprecating humor at the beginning and at the end. If they wove in a little bit more of that, it doesn't necessarily have to be into the script, but something along the way, I would think like, oh, no, like we already know, like okay, they've got a good sense of humor, but I think
Yes.
if there's just a bit more on that, it would just cut any sort of edge off of that self seriousness throughout it. Because like the work is phenomenal, and I love the concept, and I think they could have their cake and eat it too. They can make a really cinematic voiceover reel that's like, hey, look at us, we can do really cinematic stuff, and also trim the script down by 20 seconds and remove some of the weaker stuff. And I think it would be like one of the best reels I've seen if they executed those things. Now, I'm not saying those are easy to do. These aren't like easy fixes,
Yeah.
but like I just want, it's so close to being like perfection.
This
What do you
is,
think?
I feel like this reel takes the crown for personality tonight. Yeah, it's like you're showing us your personality, you're showing us your sense of humor. You sound like great people to work with. So like I'm going to hire you just because of that personality that you're showing. And it has like amazing work. Like it has really, really good stuff. But like you said, like there's a lot of weak stuff as well. So it's like trimming down all the weak stuff, putting in only the best shots, and just putting in like there's some great 3D animations. I feel like I would want those things to come forward instead of backward because I would love to see.
Yeah, the 3D shots towards the end, I'm like, they should be at the start. They were so good.
Exactly. I was like, no, why is this so much? Why is this so behind? I love this 3D shot. I'm envying this 3D shot. I want to do this 3D. Like, it's so cool. Like, just, and also I feel like I and Caleb were talking about it earlier today, which was like the audio. Like, the audio, I feel like the voiceover still needs a little bit of work. Maybe redoing the voiceover would be nice. Like just finding maybe finding like, I feel like there was like, it was a little bit muffled. It sounded like there's like a bunch of echoes and it's been over processed. I feel like that the voiceover wasn't really, really clear for me and it just needed work. Other than that, like the sense of humor, the personality, it's just a really, really like good reel. Just trimming it down and like working on the audio, making it focusing on like the best work. You know, I would love to do a reel like this. I would love to do a reel that shows my weird kink. I wanted to use the word kinky, but then I realized what the word kinky meant. Sorry, I wanted to say my word like my weird nerdy alien like personality in my work and just use weird stuff all through in my like in my next reel. Like that's what I would like to do. Like personality is almost like you can find any motion designer who can do all these things they've done, but can you find a motion designer with this specific type of personality? Probably not. You need to be able to like stand out from the crowd, and how you do it is just being yourself in your reel, and they just take that crown for me. It's just the edit and like the sound for me. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I agree. They've got all the ingredients, and it just needs to be fine-tuned just a slight little bit, and it would be like I would have no faults to say with it at all. And you know, we're only being this harsh because it is that close to being
It's like
absolutely
so cool.
untouchable.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show the next reel. Yeah.
I think we've got two more because I think we're gonna have to run off in a little bit, so we can do these quickly. But
So the next reel is from Juliet, and the final reel is from Josh. If you didn't make it to the critique, I'm like, I hope you're not a little bit offended. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be sure to like I've checked out a lot of the reels. Only the ones that were like I've not seen the ones that were like uploaded like a few hours ago, because obviously I was preparing for the stream. But I'm going to publish the list of the reels. I'll be sure to. I don't know if you would like me to add your email or hide it in case anyone wants to hire you. I think I'm just going to keep your email in case anyone wants to hire you. But other details, I'm going to hide them so people can reach you if they like your work and if they want to hire you. And I'm just going to publish it so everyone can check out your amazing reels and your amazing work. And I'm also going to be critiquing, not really doing an elaborate critique, but just writing my comments on them and following and like just going through everything. This is a lot of work. Please, if I don't do this by tomorrow, like tweet about me, like tweet the worst things about me tomorrow. Okay, let's just go to the next one. I'm sorry for ranting a little bit. So Juliet, this one, Sorry, just trying to. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. So Juliet Miranda, like the lens is already looking amazing. I'm just going to boop the like button and give you a follow really quickly. Okay, you have my favorite outro. Just the fact that you have like this character, like
It is great. It is a nice touch.
that ending is just like a really nice touch. Ben, what are your thoughts on this reel?
Well, we've got an Australian here. This is from Melbourne. Take a look, because I recognise a lot of Australian landmarks in here.
Yeah.
I've seen Juliet's works before. I don't think we've met. Hopefully in Nodefest. If Juliet, you see this, come say hello.
I'm trying to
Melbourne
come
next
to
year.
Nodefest.
Oh, anyone, if they can get it to Nodefest, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really like this one. Again, heaps of personality in this, like the length. Like the only thing that strikes me is I think the first shot in the reel is the weakest. Like you've got so much stronger ones. Get them at the front. Take that first one, which is the Sydney Harbour Ridge panning down, which it's just a little bit of parallax, and I don't think like the illustration work is really cool. Of the characters in the pool at the bottom, I love the perspective and the design of them. But
or just like
most of the shot, we're just seeing this sky and the bridge, which is yet I think the weakest work in the reel. So get some of the more action packed stuff, get that at the front, and then I think you're golden.
I was going to say that even that shot, if you like reduce the pan, like it would like feel 10 times stronger. Like if you just like cut it from here and it's just like a quick pan down and then like it transitions straight here. Like you have it from here and just goes down and then transitions down here. Like I feel like it gives it a little bit of energy. It's just that little weight that you get, just the weight where you're in this empty sky, you're not sure what is going on, and then it just pans down. Like you're right, that part is just very, very weak. But yeah, like just bringing all these things. Like my favorite part of your work is this realistic-ish, I don't know if that's a word, but like this painterly feel work. I feel like that's one of your strongest work. Like bringing this to the front would be amazing, and some of all these other animations are like your strongest work. Like just bringing all this to the front, like you have your strongest work in the back, and it's like a producer who only has like 10 seconds to look at your reel, looking at your weak stuff, and not able to look at your like the amazing stuff you have at the back. So it's like just put all those things in the front, get them excited about it ASAP. I'm kind of smashing my fingers because it's excited. Like I feel like we have the same critique, and I feel like this is a great reel. Just rearranging the shots and
exactly. Great work, Juliet. Like great work, great reel. Just flip some of those shots around, and I think be excellent.
Yes,
but it is already excellent. But even more excellent.
Yeah, this final thing, like it's just a nice touch. It's just a nice touch to it, like just adding. I'm not sure if this is how you look like in person, but yeah, it's like a nice touch. I love it. So let me go to the final reel, and then we're going to look into all the questions that has been like people have been posting in the comments, answering some of them, and then we could do like an honorable mention. Where I just mentioned a reel that I feel like didn't make it but should have made it. And yeah, we're going to end the stream after that. So let me look at Jack's reel. And so far, Jack is like the only proper 3D person we've had today. I wish I got more 3D reels. I would be so I wish I got more 3D reel submissions. But yeah, let's look at Jack's work. Oh, sorry. I think his name is Josh, not Jack. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
Jack's
Josh.
the name.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I'm overly excited. Master of the Jack. You know, my favorite thing about this reel is the fact that there is no intro and just go straight into the work. It's like, yes, finally somebody did. I know someone has already done that. I've shown the reel, but like that's just one thing that just really says, oh yes, I just want to go straight into the best part. But yeah, Ben, do you have?
And the outro is wonderful as well. Like,
Yes.
I love the JCM, the graphic at the end. It's really, really nice.
So like, do you have any like critical things to say about this reel?
Like I think more of the same stuff. I think some of the strongest work isn't towards the start. I think there's the shot from OPS-M Connect at the beginning. Like we've got this really nice close up of this type and this beautiful gold texture, which feels awesome. And then the next shot is of just sort of like the ribbon. It looks like it's been time remapped and like just some logos coming up. I think that's like, I'm not a 3D person, so I'm not, you know, the best to critique of what's the best 3D work, but that to me just isn't as exciting as those earlier shots. And I think you could cut that. And to be honest, I was like, oh, some of the better stuff is at the end, but also I might just be favoring the 2D stuff, which happens to be at the end, which you might be wanting to hide at the end because you want to get more 3D work. Because I love the starfish one. I like that is so good. I love the starfish. There is loads of awesome stuff in here, and I think it's a good time as well. I love the music. I know that you made the music yourself, so I think that works really well.
Yeah,
so, like those are the only things I would say.
Like, you get extra points for making the music yourself. That is, like, dude, I'm going to follow you, like, for life. Please teach me music. Okay, so, like, my own critique is, I feel like maybe taking out the 2D stuff and focusing on 3D. But it depends on what you want to focus on.
That's a good point.
As an artist. I feel like if you just did that and focus on one, like, take an example. One of the reels we saw before, where she was like, I think it was Mei Lee, and our work was like, this is my cute style, and we're just going to focus on that, my cute style, and it's just like putting all that together and putting all the energy into one thing. Like, if you just have 3D stuff and you're like predominantly more 3D than 2D, just take out the 2D because we really don't need to see it. And just put all your energy in making the 3D look better than they do. And because the point of your reel is just showing people, getting people's attention, and just helping them see like your capabilities essentially. So being able to just sell them immediately is amazing. And if 3D is what is predominant in your reel, I would just say just cut out the 2D stuff and focus on it. I think this is my personal opinion. You can be a jack of all trade, and you can still sell in the motion design space. But I feel like most studios always want to hire someone very, very specific, and they always want to hire something specific in your reel that they need. Like they could be like, oh, I need someone who has done this type of water simulation before. Water simulation happens to be on your reel. It's like, let's hire this person because this person has water simulation in his reel. So it's like, if 3D is your strength, just put all your energy in the 3D stuff, I think. And so far, it looks like 3D is your strength. What do you think, Ben?
I I agree. That's something I didn't think of at the start. Like, it depends. If you want to just get 3D work, only put 3D work in there. But if you want more, like, I know you said, you can't be the jack of all trades, but you clearly are master of the jack. I'm assuming that's what your website refers to. Otherwise, it's something very heinous, and I wouldn't want to be advertising unless you want a very different kind of work online. But because I mean, I thought some of the 2D stuff was really strong as well. You're clearly a great animator, 2D or 3D as well. So like up to you whether you want to get a more broad range of work, or if you want to like really niche down and tailor your reel to that. But as long as you know what you're going for and that's deliberate in the reel, I'd see no issue with either going all in on 3D or spreading out as well. If you do want to show that you can do many things and you want to get hired for many things.
Well, I have to say, like, props on like making all the music yourself. And also, like, the ending is like, if you notice, like, the ending starts from here and then it just goes and transitions into 2D. Is like, oh god, it's beautiful,
really sleek that outro. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I like, let's do my ending for my reel. I want it to be as slick as this. It's just so beautiful. Okay, this is amazing. This is like, we're getting towards the end of this live stream, so I just want us to like look at the comments. I know people have been, or like the live chat, people have been commenting, and I haven't really been paying attention to any comments than just complaints, because I wanted to like have the opportunity to like go over like people's suggestions and like questions properly at the end. And yeah, we're finally at that point where we could. Sorry, let me quickly change back to the old layout, and we can go over each question together. It's not there yet. I'm sorry.
You let me know when the transition's happening.
It's like a very soft transition. It's just a fade in. But for this, I'm just going to make it more elaborate. I'm going to put in a very elaborate transition. Give me a sec. Let me just set it up, because I forgot to set it up when
let me know
when my camera went off. Transform, edit transform, 0, enter. Sorry, I need to unlock it. I'm sorry, like this reel, I feel like this is one of my best live streams, because I'm just like, even though there are issues, I just feel very, very comfortable like with everyone here, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity, Ben. Sorry, let me go back.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes.
I think you all were friends here. Embrace the chaos. Everyone leave. We'll do some rapid fire questions. So if you've got questions, chuck them in the chat now, and we'll see them and answer them. But have you done the transition yet, or am I just waiting for?
Yeah, I think you're just waiting at the moment. I'm just trying to set up OBS.
Well,
yeah. I'm sorry. Let me.
Thank you, Juan.
Oh Jesus, sorry. I'm trying to pick a good transition, but OBS is just not.
That's okay. Just we can dissolve straight to the end.
Okay.
I think, is there any other
transition in 3 seconds? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very.
It was too
You
quick.
got it in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's not.
Okay. Let me go back to the previous scene, and then we transition.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Before we do, let me just make it slower. Sorry. Transition settings. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. This is the most fun stream ever. Okay, so let's just go straight into the question. I'm going back to the top of the chat. And the first question you already answered, but we can go over it again. Do you really need to update your reel if you already have a lot of work?
Yeah, only if you've got better work to put in your show reel. Don't make a new show reel that is work that's less good than your previous one. After 3 years, that's probably like,
a good time.
You should make a new show reel after 3 years. But yeah, you don't need to go any deeper than that.
Also, I was like, there was there was like a conversation on a group chat. I think it was at Node's Slack channel, and then there was a conversation about reel. And the main problem is that people tend to add like years to their reel, and that sort of like devalues it in a way. It's like saying, "Oh, this is my reel this year, and my reel this year can't work for next year." So like a good tip is maybe we should kill this 2021 reel, 2018 reel, 2019 reel pattern that has been going on for the last few years, and just be like, "This is my reel, take it or leave it," type of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Ben?
I think like as long as people know it's a recent reel, the thing is like if you go on someone's Vimeo page and like Vimeo mixes things all up all the time, you don't know which is the latest reel, so you want to look for the year for that. But also if you could just delete the old reels.
Yeah.
You know, that's a way around it. Yeah, because it is also, if you don't release a reel for 3 years, having a year on it makes it look older. Whereas you've got a year from 3 years ago, don't put 2019 reel on it, just put show reel.
Yeah.
You put most recent show reel up to date. I don't have strong opinions though either way.
Yeah, it's something that I'm just thinking about because I don't want to be updating my reel every year or every 3 years or even having a year. I just want a reel. I want to be able to like secretly update it. You know, Vimeo has this feature where you can just update a video secretly and nobody would know. It will still be the same link. I want to be able to do that anytime I want. Just secretly change the video and it's still my reel. And I feel like timing, just like adding a time, just like devalues it in a way. It's like, oh, this is like an old reel, and the client is seeing, and I was like, is this person stuck in the past? What is this person's current skill level? Kind of thing. Shout out to Yes Captain for that, because it was one who would like started that conversation. I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to position myself in the camera properly. I've just been moving towards that edge. Yeah, let me know how I look.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think we've got time for a couple more questions.
Okay.
There's one down at the bottom.
Yeah. Do you recommend making graphic design showreel, like mix up motion design with my graphic design work, or maybe make two separate ones? The question, the answer to that question before Ben gets the chance to answer is, have you seen Nidia Diaz's showreel? That is the definition of mixing graphic design and motion design in one reel. Like, yes, you can mix graphic design and motion design in one reel, but you have to be clear about what you're selling. Like, I feel like if you're not specific about what you're trying to sell, it's just going to be like a chaotic reel. Like, you have to be sure, like, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of project I want to get first of all, before like trying to attempt that. Other than that, it's just going to make it like a very, like, if you can't really decide on what to do, like decide on what kind of projects you want to be getting, it's best to just keep them at separate reels, I think. What are your thoughts on that, Ben?
I think it is hard. It's a challenge to work your design into a show reel, but I would absolutely recommend it so you can point everyone to the same direction, and the people that might just be wanting to hire you as a graphic designer, they're going to see all this awesome motion and think, we can get him to do some motion as well. Like, I think showing off all your skills can be, like beneficial, assuming it's similar type of work and a similar theme in a sense. Like if you did sort of 2D graphic design that's more childish and fun, but then you do like really slick or evil 3D animation.
Yes,
I wouldn't mix those. But if it's the same kind of, this is my designs but animated, I can't think of anything that would detract. It would only add people's expect what am I trying to say? People would they'll see the benefit of the work more. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. People are gonna have higher. See your work higher when they say, "Oh wow, he can do this and animate it. Awesome, let's hire him. Let's hire him for that."
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Ben. Go on.
Yeah, and Raymond says, "Do you think I can put some photography in, presented in a nice way, obviously?" It's a little trickier because if you want to get hired as a photographer, those aren't the same people hiring motion designers. Whereas I think if you're hiring designers, you're hiring motion designers, they're more interwoven. If you can work your photography into your motion design skills, and if you can like I probably wouldn't recommend putting photography in a showreel, to be honest. Maybe videography if it has graphics over the top, but yeah, maybe not stills in a motion reel.
I feel like if you were a director of photography and you're working in the film space and you're not doing motion design and you're just working in the film space and you're trying to get hired as a director of photography, that is probably a better place to put photography in your showreels, not for motion design, unless you're like doing style frames. And these photographs are like actual style frame, like style frames were like actual pictures, like they're taking like real. That's when it makes sense, because you're like showing them I'm designing this picture essentially. But if you are not doing that, just keep it. If you're being hired for a different skill set, I guess. So let me look up for more questions, I guess. Thank you for the sound.
I think I can do one more. If you find one more, I've got time for one more. But thank everyone for joining. There have been some great questions. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Juan, Shiki, Alex, I like that. How you spell that name right? Raymond, May. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
This is my biggest stream. Like, this is my biggest stream since Joey Coleman happened, like last year. So it's really exciting for me. Like, I've had more viewers here on this stream than any other stream I've done this year. But I feel like next week I'm bringing back Joey Coleman on the channel, and we're redoing our stream. Like, we're going to be talking about, you know, everything we're talking about in the last stream, which is like the progress of motion design and like helping the community, like what is the future of motion design essentially. We're going to be like continuing the conversation and, you know, talking about NFTs and everything, looking back at from the space of when we did our streams to now, how have we really worked on the industry and how has it improved. So it's going to be fun bringing back Joy. So it's funny because like that stream is going to beat this one again, and I'll just be looking like, wow. I'm super excited. Thank you very much, John, for this. Sorry, I keep saying John. John is my friend and is in the other room, and he keeps popping up in my head. Thank you very much, Ben, for this. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Sorry, go on. Oh, okay. Let me just finish my outro. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the Curious Art of Showreel stream. Look out for my next video, which is going to be about reels. Not my next live stream, my next video. I'm making a video where I show you the process of me making my own reel, like, and just updating my work for my reel, re-rendering some things just to make it look good, relighting some things, fine-tuning it, doing a bunch of director's cuts because I have to do them just for my reels. And if I don't post this video in the next 2 weeks, please call me out on Twitter. Keep me very accountable, because that is my biggest weakness, just accountability, is the fact that I procrastinate a lot and it makes it difficult for me to publish content. So if I don't post this video in the next 2 weeks, call me out. Call me names, not nice names, please. I feel like pain is effective. Yes, pain is very effective. Call me not nice names and I would make sure it happens. Yeah. Also, thank you very much to the guys at Ashakoteri, and thank you to my friend Caleb and John for producing it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for submitting your reel. I'll be sure to post the link. I'm going to add your emails. Comment if you want your emails to be there or not. I think adding your emails just makes it easy for people to reach out to you if they want to hire you. And I think I'm just going to keep your emails. Like, I'm just going to keep your emails. I'm going to leave a comment on everyone's reel. I think that is enough for the outro. Thank you very much, Ben. I hope you add fun to that. So. Yeah. Wow, that was a long outro. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and if you are in Australia, have a great day. Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone joining us. Have a good one.
Bye. Oh yeah, I think we're good, and I'm going to end the stream in like once this music stops playing. Essentially.
Alright.
Thank you very much, Ben, for coming. I'm really, really grateful. This has been so fun, and I've been dreaming about doing something with you since last year. So it's like amazing. This time last year, when you left a comment on one of my videos, I can't remember the title. I can't remember the title from my own video. It was one where I was talking about a new way to think about motion design, and you left a comment, and I'm really, really grateful for that. Thank you very much for this.
Oh, of course.
opportunity.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited to see where this goes. I haven't even checked how many subscribers I have yet, because I kind of added this thing where people can't comment until they subscribe, can't join the live chat until they subscribe. Now this is mean and brutal, but like I hope it gets maybe enough subscribers. Thank you so much.
I hope so too. I can't. No promises though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like during the live stream, I got about 30 subscribers more, so that's a win.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
That's a win. Thank you very much, Ben. I feel like I need to let you start your day and get to work properly.
Thank you. But I had a lot of fun. It was great. Thank you very much. You have a enjoy. Say hi to Joey for me next week. Give him my best.
Definitely.
Mad respect to him.
Take care
Huge inspiration.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Help me say hi to Zoe. I hope I didn't mess up her name.
No, it's always fun. Yeah.
You're right.
Perfect.
Sorry. Yeah, help me say hi to her. Tell her ROJ says hi. Enjoy the rest of your day while I go to bed. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Enjoy sleep, mate.